The world is moving. You are the only person that's not moving. The world is evolving. You are the only person that's not evolving. The world is changing. You are the only person that's not changing. Hello, everyone. We're back again on this edition of Understanding How the World Works. That is the wisdom to be relevant at all times. This is the part 3 on this edition. In case you have not watched the last editions, please you can revert back to my Facebook, my page, so that you can get updated with the last series that we did. You see, but today I want to take this discussion a step further. But before we make progress, I would please plead with you to, like, comment, and share, so that we can reach out to as many who are out there. As a matter of fact, you are helping me very fast to build a social media community, and I believe together we will reach the world. Now, we're talking about how to be successful in the world as a child of God. What does it take to be successful? You discover that out of 100%, only 5% of humanity ends up becoming success. Did you hear that? Statistics has it that only 5% out of every 100% of persons will end up becoming successful. That is not a good statistics. Now the question is, are you going to end up becoming part of the 5% that are successful, or you are going to be part of the 95% that will struggle all through lives? You see, success is simple. A man was once asked, D.H. Hunt, one of the self-made American billionaires, was asked that what are the secrets of success, or what are the secrets of his success? In response, he gave them 3 words. He said, 1, know what you want. 2, know the price it will take to find out what it takes. Then 3, then resolve to pay the price. I'll say that again. Know what you want. That's talking about vision. Then find out the price. That's talking about the price to be paid, and a resolution to pay the price. When you resolve that at all costs you are going to pay the price for success. But as we build this morning, you are going to understand that there are 3 major parameters for success, or indices for success. 1 is knowledge. The second one is discipline or values. Then the third one is systems. And as we progress in this whole editions, we are going to look at them differently. But now, when we talk about knowledge, somebody's mind will quickly go to thinking that knowledge is all about the acquisition of information. No, it goes beyond that. When we talk about knowledge, we're talking about expertise. We're talking about experience. We're talking about revelation. We're talking about illumination. We're talking about something that is beyond just mere mental acquisition of knowledge. And so, the question now is, in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 19, it said, the Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth. By understanding hath he established the heavens. So when we're talking about knowledge as a factor, as one indices for success, you will know that it goes beyond just mental acquisition of knowledge. No wonder in Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7, the Bible says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Now, what is wisdom in this context? Wisdom simply means the discernment of difference, the understanding of the judgments of God, the ability to approach the issues of life from God's point of view, from God's perspective. No wonder Jesus said that he that heareth this saying of mine and doeth them is likened unto a wise man that built his house upon a rock. So the application of the word of God in solving life's issues is called wisdom. Now the question is, how does the word work? Because we're talking about understanding how the word works. How does the word work? How does it really work? Now, you see, the last series we were able to establish that the word has 3 concepts. The first concept has to do with Tebe, which means the inhabited universe, the plants, the animals, and everything that is in it. Then we're able to also establish how we are supposed to relate with the universe in order for us to become successful. Then, you see, the Bible made a statement in Matthew chapter 5, I think verse 5. It said, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. There are persons that the earth has been given to as an inheritance because of a certain attributes of characters. So every meek person naturally has power over the earth. That's what the Bible is saying. We also saw that the wisdom can make the face of a man to shine. But that's not, you can go back to the last edition and probably follow up. But now, we are looking at a different concept of the word, which is aeon. A-E-O-N. And what is the meaning of this word? It means successive ages, it means generations, it means seasons and times, and probably you can add days. So think of generations, think of seasons, think of successive ages. You are talking about aeon as one of the concepts of the word. And when you read Hebrew chapter 11 verse 3, it said, by faith we understand that the words, that is during the successive ages, were framed, fashioned, put in order, and equipped for their intended purposes by the word of God. So that what we see was not made out of things which are visible. That is Hebrew chapter 11 verse 3. Then in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1, it said, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Now, I will just outline about 7 basic principles as it has to do with the scriptures I have read now. 1, there are 2 words. The sin word and the unseen word. 2, the sin word evolves as the sin word advances. I'll say that again. The sin word evolves as the unseen word advances. That is to say, the changes happening in the realm of the spirit is what determines the changes happening in the natural realms. Then 3, at every age, there are things which are appointed to appear, or events which were designed to happen. At every age. Then number 4 principle, life are in phases, or life is in phases, or seasons. And seasons is defined by moments and events. I will also explain that as we make progress today. Then number 5, there is a certain wisdom that is required to frame your age or to determine your seasons. No wonder the psalmist prayed the prayer. He said, teach us how to number our days and apply our years in wisdom. Because you can determine your seasons. It is given to us when you understand how moments builds up into events and how events unfold new seasons. You can determine your new season. You can determine your generation. Now, number 7 or C is that nothing lasts forever. Every new age comes with certain expectations. Knowledge, ideas, inventions, innovations, attitudes of mind, and characters that unfolds along every new generation. So there's a certain spirit that animates every generation, that defines the tone of every generation. Well, okay, let me use an example of something you can relate with. Maybe the computer. You will discover that the computer or the technology is in the 5th wave now. We have had the 1st generation computer, the 2nd generation computer, the 3rd generation computer, the 4th generation computer, and the 5th generation computer. And when you discover that, okay, for instance now, the 1st generation computer is the vacuum tubes that existed between 1940 to 1956. It's like a very big computer set. For 1st generation computers relied on machine language, the lowest level programming language understood by computers to perform operations and all of that. But you will discover that the 1st generation computer is what? The vacuum tube. Then the 2nd generation computer from 1956 to 1963 has to do with transistors. Now the world evolved again from the 2nd generation computer to the 3rd generation computer, where we began to have integrated circuits, down to the 4th generation computers, where we begin to have things like microprocessors, down to the 5th generation. Now we're talking about artificial intelligence. That is, you will see that is, in fact, natural. That is the way the world was designed to function. Because every generation comes with certain ideas, certain knowledge, certain inventions, certain technologies, certain expectations, certain characters. And if you now listen, now this is the way some of us are relating with this age. Because you see that we are now in the 5th wave. We're talking about artificial intelligence. But so many of us are still trying to relate with the world as if we are still in the 1st generation of computers. Now, see, if you study the eras of development in history, you will also discover that the 1st generation of human history was called the Dark Age. The 2nd generation, the Medieval Age. where the world started having a little enlightenment and knowledge. Then the third generation of humanity was called the scientific revolution age. Then from the third generation down to the fourth generation, where we began to have things like industrial revolution. Then from industrial revolution, we also now begin to talk about things like technological advancement. These are different ages in history. From technological advancement, now we now shifted down to where we now begin to have information age. From there, we will now move to creative minds. From there, now we now begin to talk about globalization. Then from globalization, now we're not talking about the world is migrating, it's transiting towards artificial intelligence. So things like augmented realities, virtual reality, these are the things now that the world is talking about. Now listen, I'm taking time to bring this understanding because for some of us, we are not transiting. We are not being able to adapt to the changes occurring in our generation. And now this is very critical. This is the point I'm driving at now. For an average Christian, he does not understand that the world is moving and it needs to move. Mohammed bin Rashid, in his book titled My Vision, The Pathway for Excellence, he was talking about the developmental strides in Dubai. And he now made a statement. He said that the whole world is like in a race, and is in a race of excellence. And in this race, it's either you are a gazette or you are a lion. And if you are a gazette, you will need to wake up very fast. You will need to run very fast enough to beat the smartest lion. Or you will be used as a prey. And if you are a lion, you will need to run very fast enough to outrun the fastest gazette, or you will starve. So whether you believe it or not, the world is not static. The world is dynamic. And as children of God, we need to now begin to understand this. That the word of our fathers is not the same thing with our own word. The generation of our fathers is not the same thing with our own generation. So if you are still thinking the way your fathers used to think, if you are still acting the way your fathers used to act, then you will be lost in this generation. You will be lost in this age. The way people ran church before is not the way people are running church now. It can't work. It can't work. The way people did business in 19th century is not the way you do business in 21st century. It can't work. It's beyond that. So, see, now listen, this is where the challenge is. Because for an average Christian, he believes that prayer, he wants to pray. But listen, you will now understand that the world is advancing seriously. The world is evolving seriously. The world is not static. And if we don't, now this is my point now. We need to go back to why we are praying, we are researching, we are studying, and we are taking the lead in the evolving of the world. Now this is what, now if you are old enough, or if you are old enough, you are going to understand that there's this technology called Kodak. This product, Kodak film. When they used to do snap photograph, they have films and all of that. And at the time, Kodak was one. In fact, there's this TV program called Kodak Moments. They were the master of their game. But when the world shifted from that kind of analog system to digital system, Kodak was not able to transit. And that is what led them to bankruptcy. We also understand how Nokia faded out. They started their operating systems with Java, some Symbian and all of that. But when the world moved to Android, they changed the operating system, and Nokia remained. And when Nokia also migrated, they migrated to Microsoft. And it was not user-friendly. And that was how they went bankrupt. So the point is that if you don't adapt, you will die. If you don't adapt, you'll be lost in the crowd. Now, this is my call. If you have understood what I said now, you now need to understand that the world is not static. You will need to do everything to adapt. We need to be technological friendly, though we are Christians. We need to, understand world economics. We need to understand what politics. We need to understand how to survive, how to thrive in an unsettling times. And in the next series, I will show you how to thrive in an unsettling times. Because my goal in this series is just to open your eyes, to bring you to a level where you will now begin to understand that the world is moving. You are the only person that's not moving. The world is evolving. You are the only person that's not evolving. The world is changing. You are the only person that's not changing. And let me shock you, for a graduate that's listening to me now, don't be deceived by that your degree, because every 2 years information changes, the knowledge basis changes. So whatever you learned in school 2 years ago is not relevant after now. That is why you see that almost virtually every 2 years you see new different models, upgrades in technology, upgrades in phones, upgrades in cars, upgrades. So you see that virtually every year there are new models coming out. That is also to tell you that the world is on a fast lane. And as children of God, we need to wake up and begin to find out the wisdom to adapt. In the next series, I will show you how to adapt. How you can take advantage of this 21st century age, and how you can begin to find your way even in the darkest moments of history. God bless you. I'm Pastor Uche once again, and I will see you. And before I go, please don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to comment. You know, this is not just a Bible. This is not just a spiritual whatever. You see, I've been able to explain things that has to do with computers and generations. So please, if you are blessed, and if you know you are truly blessed, please try to reach out to somebody and worship with us at Toda City Church, Kwale, beside Novena College. God bless you. See you again in the next edition.